So today we're again going to cover on how to move up that digital marketing maturity curve. Of seniors that are 65 and older, 67% of them are going online. Of those that go online, 75% of them are doing it daily. Mobile is becoming a huge traffic driver, not only for the adult child influencers, but also for our seniors in the space. Has your marketing kept up with the adoption of seniors in technology? And about 50% of your total inquiries should be coming from online channels. So not to chase the bright, shiny object, focus on the foundation, and let's focus on what works. It's really comprised of having a mobile responsive website that's well optimized for SEO and conversions. You have content that's mapped to all of the personas that are using your website, to each one of the stages that they're at in their resident journey, whether they be top of the funnel in the awareness phase or at the bottom of the funnel in the consideration phase. Again, our website is going to be typically the first impression that any potential resident, their loved one, or the family has of our brand. How do we connect with the digital savvy seniors? Again, moving from that foundational to the practitioner. So really you'll start to see here where you've got some of your SEO strategy figured out, and you have some of the foundation figured out in the foundational level, but really to take that next step, it gets much more technical. And Patrick, we start to use some of the technologies that are available out there to us, like a CRM. So the first piece, Patrick, is that technical SEO. So, you know, really capturing seniors that are out there searching with intent. Robots.txt is basically how you tell a search engine what pages you don't want them on and pages you don't want indexed. And we had a client partner that had great location pages built out. They have about 50 locations actually here in Northeast Ohio. And unfortunately, their dev partner didn't actually unblock the location pages. So they had spent about 3 or 4 months waiting for SEO rankings to show up, because they built and spent a lot of money on these location pages, and make sure that all of the pages that should be indexed are. So schema is essentially a code that none of your users are going to see. Nobody even is going to know that it's there. It's just on the back end of your website, but it couldn't be more important, and it couldn't be one of the most underutilized tactics. If you don't have schema, they're still guessing with a high level of certainty, but it's still a guess. The crazy thing, Patrick, is that you can wrap everything in schema. You can wrap videos, reviews, events, your name, address, phone number, your hours of operation. And here's one of the cool things that can happen. We know that events are the lifeblood for a lot of our communities. It's how they drive a lot of local traffic. They drive a lot of local PR through these events. And when you wrap your event in schema, you can see here on the left-hand side, it will actually pull the date and the day, as well as the name, Sweet Reminders at Marion Village, into the search engine results page. Now, a lot of times we talk about what are some of the most important ranking factors for Google. The top ranking factor is your link signals or your domain authority, as well as the quantity and quality of your inbound links. And making sure that you keep that domain authority, because that is the toughest metric to build and really gain with Google. Once we have a good domain authority and we end up, say, changing URLs, or say we acquire another company and want to redirect their website into ours, how do we do that effectively without losing that domain authority that we've built through with Google? And that's by setting up redirects and ghost pages, right? And that's one of the things is, why not leverage not only your brand authority, but that website authority. And if done correctly through those 301 redirects, you can really leverage a lot of what corporate has already done and still be unique, still be found, and actually be found easier in a search engine results page. Just, you know, I always say, you know, take a look at some of the leaders in the space. Brookdale has thousands of locations. They don't have thousands of websites. They have, you know, one single website with a bunch of location pages. and because there's SEO value there. The thing to do is once they can find us on a search engine results page, we have got to track these individuals and convert them, or the traffic doesn't do us a lot of good, right, Patrick? Large and prominent phone numbers that can be found above the fold. So when I land on the website, above the fold is anything I don't have to scroll to see. Utilize streamlined contact forms. Ask for first name, email, and comments. And let's put those forms, Patrick, on every page that makes sense. How do you get the phone to ring, and how do we get people on site? I hear it all the time from our partners. What we want to do is continue to provide that frictionless contact information by really organizing the site in a way that's super user-friendly. So each one of these communities has their own section. So they almost have, a full microsite underneath the corporate, kind of URL. And each one of those pages is set up to rank well in their actual market. How do we continue to compete without stealing or, kind of competing against ourselves? And so we do that by having very specific location pages that make it super easy for a user to actually get driven deeper into our site.
And all that is cool, but if you're not purposeful in your marketing, then it means absolutely nothing. So I think what we're bringing to the table today is helping people better understand how to use those dollars, how you can reallocate what you're already spending in a purposeful way where you can come out with an even better outcome than what you started with. Something as basic as a CRM to help you track your web leads and your potential referral sources is huge. So one of the things that a nice CRM should help you do is really connect with families in a timely fashion. We know that oftentimes a lot of us out here, we're paying for these leads, right, or we're paying for these conversions. What a great CRM will help you to do is allow that information to come into your CRM, filter it against duplicate information, right, and be able to decide whether or not you want to enter that in as a lead yourself, which that's step one. Then the other thing, too, is make sure you're capturing all that pertinent information that the family's been sharing with you that's so important and near and dear to their heart that's going to help you, help the family make that transition into your community. You should be able to track that and then run reports against who's truly referring to you, right? And what's that frequency and what's the conversion rates? Those people you want to put high on your list, and you want to do something special for them, because those are the people that truly believe in your product, they believe in you, and they believe in your services. So.
But you have to do some research first, Patrick. You have to know what the search demand is. So what's the search volume? Is it a keyword that 10 people search a month or 10,000? Can I compete for that word? Does aplaceformom.com already own that keyword? So it's really about trying to identify which ones are most relevant to your business that you can compete for, and then tracking that against your baseline. And conversely, just because you have, a 1, 2, or 3 ranking doesn't mean you don't need to protect that ranking. Everyone's out there shooting for one of the top 3 rankings, and it's a constant up and down battle with new players coming into your markets via new builds, acquisitions, consolidations. The search market place is always changing. There's a lot of really great ways to gain, first page rankings. And, I think if you really take a deep dive into content and how it supports SEO and how really creating optimized blog posts that are really running side by side and helping support SEO and being fueled back and forth based on your learnings from your SEO program is a great way to compete with national players in your local market. Really how connecting your website to your CRM drives process and efficiency.
Yep. Again, we're just getting to, focusing on the word purposeful, whether it's marketing or events or, operations within your organization, everything should be purposeful. And when we're talking about purposeful here in 2017, we understand that the intent is to be able to compete or dominate within the area that we operate in. And we do know competitors are on every other corner. So we want to be competitive. So now you're talking about, well, what's my different and better story, right? What do I do well that I would like to share with family members and, the rest of the world to help attract residents and potential residents to my organization. And that's where if you're using a robust system, if you're using technology, you can extract that data that you've been feeding into it and share it with family members. You can say, hey, well, Mrs. Jones has been getting care 3 days a week. These are the dates. This is what the services that we've been rendering. And this is the outcome, right? And so now it's no longer just you saying, oh, we provide excellent care. It's actually you proving that you provide excellent care. And if you want to also expand on that and talk about operations, let's say you're the executive director or you're the regional director of operations or, you know, the district director of operations or whatnot like that, and you want to see the efficiency of your care delivery module or the effectiveness of your sales processes. Well, if you have a lovely, robust, you know, CRM, you can be able to extract that data and you can weigh that information against who's successful and who's not. I think that's very, very important if we're trying to compete and more importantly, dominate our specific market space, to have that information at your fingertips. What we all believe is that when I connect with the family, that information kind of belongs to me. That's the wrong answer. That information actually belongs to the organization, right? So as an organizational leader, you will want to make sure every bit of information that, you know, potentially you can collect actually goes in because, hey, transitions happen. People, they leave one organization to go to another, but that information should remain relevant within your system. So,
being at the practitioner level. So
Yep.
if you have a strong technical SEO foundation, if you have your local listings claimed and managed and optimized and above 80-85% complete and accurate, if you've connected the front end of your website and your forms with a back-end system like a CRM, if you have implemented at the very least some conversion rate optimization best practices, and you're getting a more advanced on-site strategy that's deeper in keywords based on, you know, really an audit of where you are versus your competitors. If you've done all of that and it's successfully implemented and the machine is running smooth, you're now at the practitioner level. Welcome. What's next is July 26th. We'll talk about moving from practitioner to advanced. And I'd love to talk about how to get there because we've got a digital media audit free for attendees that are looking, you know, at their digital marketing partnerships. Here's my contact information as well as Patrick's for any questions that you may have. I thank everybody for showing up today. Appreciate the questions that everybody asked and hope to see you on part 3, July 26th at noon.